flexing that ankle.
Oh, Lee, this late in the game, you do not want to see.
Caitlin Clark is injured again, her second setback this season, and this time, fans aren't just concerned, they're outraged. This isn't just a minor knock, it's potentially serious enough to sideline her for a significant stretch. What's fueling the frustration is how preventable this all felt. Head coach Stephanie White is now facing tough questions, because this isn't about a single play, it's the result of season-long negligence. From lack of protection by referees and rough treatment from opponents to questionable decisions by the Fever themselves, Caitlin hasn't been shielded physically or strategically. And that neglect could now impact not just her health and career, but the momentum of the entire WNBA.
Stephanie White has now got questions to answer.
So this was the play against the Storm where Caitlin Clark appeared to aggravate her groin, and now she's officially sidelined for an undetermined period of time. Head coach Stephanie White has labeled her status as day-to-day, but the uncertainty is doing little to calm growing concerns among fans and analysts alike.
Boston hands it off as Clark's back in. She goes down. And mid-court and flexing that ankle.
Oh, Lee, this late in the game, you do not want to see.
Now that we know Dana wasn't truly day-to-day, she had actually requested to sit out while the team quietly explored trade options. Fans are increasingly skeptical of Stephanie White's press conference responses. Trust is eroding, and it feels like this situation is heading in one of two directions. Either the team starts being more transparent and proactive, or the tension between management, players, and fans continues to spiral.
With Caitlin, when did you guys find out about this groin injury, and how much of an absence do you expect from her beyond today?
Yeah, late last night. I think it's very much a day-to-day thing, how she responds to treatment.
And there's growing reason to believe that even if this is a minor injury, Caitlin Clark should sit out for an extended period. Not because fans are calling for it, but because the pattern is becoming impossible to ignore. These injuries are starting to connect in a way that suggests deeper issues, and it's clear that nothing is being fully addressed or allowed to properly heal.
How is she doing? Is there any timeline for her return?
Yeah, she's doing well. She's doing well. Again, no timeline. I think it's day to day, and for us to just make sure that we're continuing to be supportive of DB.
And beyond all that, many believe this isn't just a case of Caitlin getting hurt on one random play. The growing consensus is that she's been playing through an injury for days, maybe even weeks, and what happened against the Storm was simply the breaking point. Honestly, there are some pretty compelling reasons fans are buying into that theory. First, the numbers. Since that brutal game against Connecticut, where she took a lot of physical punishment, Caitlin just hasn't looked right, not just off, but visibly struggling. Especially from beyond the arc. She's gone 1-4-23 from 3 over the last few games. For someone known for drilling logo range shots, that's not a slump, it's a red flag. But then there's this.
Like, it's one of two things. It's either it's groin tightness and she'll be back for the Commissioner's Cup game. She's probably going to miss these next two games. Or it's a groin strain and she's out for the All-Star game. Like, it's one of those two, and there's no in between.
And this is where fans are losing it at the Fever organization, and more specifically, at head coach Stephanie White. Because if Caitlin really was playing hurt all this time, it points to one undeniable conclusion. She was rushed back. Whether it was pressure to keep ratings high, fill seats, or chase wins, the decision to put her back on the court before she was fully healed now looks reckless, and fans aren't just upset, they're furious.
But I think we're getting into territory now where it is not, I don't think it's a good idea to just chance it. I don't think it's a good idea to put pressure on yourself to perform when obviously these are all left leg. These are all in the same leg area. So there's definitely something going on around there.
It's true, when one part of your body isn't at 100%, you start compensating, shifting pressure to other muscles and joints. And that's exactly how small injuries turn into bigger ones. So when fans saw Caitlin wearing that heavy wrap on her leg after her return, the question became painfully clear. Should she have even come back that soon? And speaking of that, let's rewind to the Storm game, because this is the moment that has fans absolutely livid with Stephanie White.
So if you guys did not see, in this game right here, against the New York Liberty, she's doesn't have anything strapped up, and people are saying her quad was strapped up against Connecticut Sun. That is a very high strapping up for a quad.
Caitlin was put back into the game with just seconds left, up by 8. And for what? Maybe she asked to go back in, maybe she was trying to shake off the slump. But with only 16 seconds on the clock and the win already locked in, it's the coach's job to step in and protect the player, especially this player. That decision falls squarely on Stephanie White, Factor in that Caitlyn's been playing with her leg heavily taped for several games, clearly pushing through pain, and it raises serious questions about White's judgment. At some point, it stops being about toughness and starts being about responsibility. Right now, a growing number of fans believe the Fever and their coach completely failed that test.
You guys rushed her back. And within rushing her back, she re-injured that same quad. And then you rushed her back again. And then within rushing her back, she was forced to put pressure and put stress on different areas surrounding that quad. That leads us to our most recent groin injury.
And this is where fans are really starting to worry, because it's becoming increasingly clear that Caitlin Clark isn't being managed the way she should be. She's got that ultra-competitive fire, the kind that makes her want to play through anything. She wants to help her team. She understands the spotlight she's under, not just for Indiana, but for the entire WNBA. She's carrying all of that, even if she never says it out loud. But that's exactly the problem. When you have a player who refuses to sit, who pushes through pain, who feels responsible for a team and a league, you need a system in place to protect her from herself. Because if she keeps grinding through injury, if she keeps playing hurt, it won't just be a game or two she misses. It could cost her everything.
There's a lot of speculation that she did get hurt in the final seconds of the Seattle game.
And that's what makes all of this even more alarming, because just a year ago, the thought of Caitlin Clark missing significant time felt unthinkable. At Iowa, she was relentless. She didn't miss games. She pushed through everything. That toughness was part of her legend. But now, she's missed nearly half the season, and it's all tied to what appears to be a lingering issue with the same leg. It's clearly affecting her performance, and if it's not handled with the care and strategy it demands, it could turn into something that lingers not just for the rest of this season, but well beyond.
This one's on the coach. This one seems to be on the coach.
And here's what's especially concerning: this isn't just about one injury. It's about compensation. When you play hurt, your body adapts in ways that aren't natural. You favor one leg, shift your mechanics, and that throws everything off. It's a dangerous game, especially for women athletes, who are already at a higher risk for knee injuries due to anatomical and biomechanical differences. What starts as a minor issue can quickly spiral into something much more serious if it's not properly managed.
Caitlin Clark clearly not looking like herself. The Indiana Fever has the game put away, yet we still put her back in the game at 45 seconds left. Caitlin Clark dealing with an injury, not looking like herself. The game is already out of hand, yet we still put her back in with 45 seconds left. How much patience do I need to have before I can start going nuclear? Because I am getting very frustrated with what I am seeing.
We've seen it far too often. Courtney Vandersloot, Juju Watkins, Cameron Brink. The list of elite women's basketball players sidelined by serious knee injuries is both long and heartbreaking. An ACL tear isn't just a setback. It's a season-ending, sometimes career-altering injury. And here's the nightmare scenario fans can't shake. What if that happened to Caitlin Clark? What if she tore her ACL in garbage time during that Storm game, already playing on a compromised leg? That wouldn't just be a tragedy for her, it would go down as the single biggest tactical failure in WNBA history. Full stop. We're talking about a moment that could set the league back an entire decade. All the momentum, the new fans, the record-breaking ratings gone in an instant. And no, that's not hyperbole. Because here's the hard truth. No player has ever meant more to the league's future than Caitlin Clark does right now. And if you think that sounds dramatic, just wait until you realize how deeply this could impact the careers and opportunities of other players across the league. Now, to be clear, this isn't just on the Fever. Fans and analysts are also calling out the WNBA itself, because the officiating has been consistently awful, and it's played a major role in how we got here. So ask yourself, do you really want a league without Caitlin Clark? If you've made it this far, drop it in the comments to let me know, and thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.